Hello, welcome to Reframing Mindset Podcast. We are clear my head of the thoughts that are preventing clarity and practice my speech, among other things. Episodes range from informative knowledge to funny stories about my experiences, and in the future, maybe include interviews. So subscribe and enjoy. Episodes drop every other day.
Okay, thank you. Welcome back to Reframe Myself podcast. My name is Concept Rooks. I know this episode is, when this episode released, I would officially have had or have a credit card because now by the recording of this episode, the credit card was actually lost. And so I would not have received it as it back as yet. But that short experience with the card and the anxiety of paying back those loans because I was not my financial situation was not as big as it was because what happened was that a lot of unexpected costs just came out of nowhere, especially losing a card and all those stuff. It's like with all those unexpected costs, you basically have to just plan to basically pay back the loan. And lucky enough, I actually got to pay it back. Lucky enough. And not only that, the amount that I thought I was going to pay was actually more. So I had to actually pay back more. So, lucky enough, I actually pay back more. So, loan, and like, using a credit card, one of this episode talk about loans, bro. Loans are no joke, especially like credit card loans where the interest rate is tight and all those stuff. The loans are no joke. You don't go in those things half-ass. You really have to have a plan. But you may reach a point where you will have to actually do that and all those stuff. But so far, what I realize is the best loan you can always get from is I would always try to recommend, going for it, family loan. Learn from the family. Cause what I w- and ideally you'd have to get the family to actually buying. And not only that, you have to actually be disciplined with the money because that's the thing about loans. You getting a credit card, the bank assess your ability to pay back the loan. So they reject you getting a card or stuff like that based on doing a lot of financial analysis based on your bank statement. If you basically have a bad history of paying back stuff or bad money stuff, they won't give you the credit card. And it's the same thing again with your family and stuff like that. If you have a bad way of managing your money, if you basically tend to waste your money. If you basically ask for money, you tend to be like, yo, more likely you're going to waste it on something stupid. So before you ask a loan, you have to learn how to actually properly manage your money, properly how to properly use it. And when you that comes through practice and stuff, and when you have enough discipline, then and you say, okay, you want to take a loan. The easiest one would be to actually take it from your family. And start with a small amount and try to pay back. Because the thing about it is that when you take it from your family, what will happen is that it's safer. It's a safer bet, they can actually give you based out of their own budget and say, okay, you can go and do that and try stuff. But the thing about it is that it's safer because if you go ahead to take the loan and then you make a profit, when you give back the loan to your family, the family overall gets richer. Gets richer because you can always so there are various loans that you can take a loan from a bank. Some company like a company you can always take loan from a company and all those stuff. You can take loan from different places. But the thing about it is that when you pay back the loan the what happens is that the entity that you borrow the loan from gets richer. So if you can basically, if you want to get yourself and your family richer, the safest bet would be like ask for assistance from a family. So that when you pay it back, the family overall gets richer. Yeah, so that's the view on my loan. And then, the rest of the loan will be you would have to really go to a financial advisor to see what the best bet. But the other loans, you have to really have discipline and bet money understanding before you go there. You can't go there with no basic street knowledge or be like, oh, I was dealing money from this and that. And no, bro. No, no. Because, you have to really have money sense to actually deal with loan from like, cause you have other loans, like, for example, partners and stuff, where you and a group of people come together and put money. I don't think that's a loan. I think that's like saving money or something like that. But you can't the playing with the banks or human. The thing about that loan is that you're basically locking yourself to the fact that if you failed with the money, you have to pay back that money. That's the thing about the loan, that where if you fail to do what you want, make that profit, boom, you have to pay back the money. So that's the constant. So that's the thing where loans is something you really have to really do. You can't just out there going out and say, "Oh, I'm just gonna take a loan to do this or that." No, you have to really think about what you're gonna take the loan for. Yeah, what you're gonna take the loan for, and if you can pay it back. You need to get all the details about the loan, all the details about the loan, and all the understanding about it. So that boom, when I take it out, then you can be like, okay, yeah, this is the risk. Yeah. When I understand the risk now, then you are more secure and have the plan to actually take plan of action. Because what happened was that um one of the reasons why I was so why when the bad situation happened with the card, I was not really as worried as I would be, is because I was working. So basically, what happened was that the other money to pay back was actually secured. It's just basically time. When I look at the time when I was going to get paid, based on when I get paid and the when the loan was due, it was basically on time. So basically, when the time come, I just basically paid it off, get and then clear it off, and then it's done. I don't have to worry about that. So what happened was that experience was just a lesson now to me going forward, to be like, yeah, going forward, I have to really make smarter moves about doing these stuff. You can't just be like a disco with that, you know. But and that was really a great introductory to credit cards. Yeah. So that's basically for this episode. Yeah, loans are no joke. You can have all the plan or all the expertise about loans, but all it takes is for one unforeseen thing to just happen, especially like, for example, unexpected medical costs and all those stuff. Boom, tear off your budget, and then all of a sudden you're basically going down in debt. Yeah, and the thing about life is that it's ever continuing, bro. So all these stuff eventually, yeah, you just have to go through. You will have to go through. But if you actually know about it, you will actually maybe lessen the burden when you're actually going through it, or lessen the load of you have to go through it. No, because that's the thing about life, is always ever continuing, bro. And I think so far what I realize is life, that I think you have to think life is just trying to bring you through all the lessons about life, all the life lessons. So you have to go through every one of them. Can't you can't avoid it. Can't out there say, "Oh, I'm just do this or that." No, you can't avoid it. You have to go through it, and then when you find a better way now, then the next generation will benefit from it. but you have to go through your you have to go through the trials and tribulations as well. I think that's why, regardless, you can't when you have a child and stuff, you have to send them to school. They have to go to high school and all those stuff. And I think also, you have this phase of life now where people in a high school were coming out and making a lot of money and all those stuff. But like, oh, university is not um it's not important and all these stuff. And eventually you have to go to university. I think so. Because the lessons that the university will teach you, you know, you'd have to eventually go through it. But even if you don't go through it and get the lesson, what happens that you have an offspring, and that offspring that will actually want to go to university. That's the thing about life, you can always bash. So you have your own successes and be like, okay, because I have this success, those other successes. It doesn't matter, those are successes are stupid or stuff like that. Then boom, you have a child, and that child now wants to go and do that thing. And be like, you know. So yeah, life is really complicated. Life, life is really complicated, and the reason why it's complicated because it's ever continuing. So you say, okay, you want to stop at this level, but it it always continues now because boom, I'm in a new year now, and usually I sleep and wake up. It's basically a new day. And if I don't do nothing, I'll basically for a while I'll basically lose every progress that I made, and then I'll lose all the progress that I made and go back way down a lot of levels. So I have to actually go and keep going. That's the next thing. I have to just keep going and build momentum. And what will happen is that the momentum we will experience and wisdom, and then that one that you can after a while you can enjoy a level that you were at for a longer period, for a long enjoy it in a better quality way as well. You know, that's if you don't stop. But if you stop, you basically lose all the momentum, and then boom, you start to lose everything, and then yeah, and the same thing with loan as well. Same thing with loan as well. So yeah, like a lot of stuff you'll be I'm learning in this new year, the which will be my 28th year. So this year I would actually be turning 28 if I reach that month. So yeah, it's a lot of stuff I've learned so far and keep learning. That's basically for this episode. Thank you for listening and look forward for the next episode. Mhm. Okay, welcome back to the Mercy Podcast. My name is Concept Books, and this episode I talk about, you know, finally received a credit card and stuff. But yo, owning a credit card has a very huge responsibility. It's a very huge responsibility. And this episode, and in the situation that I'm in now, this is even more relevant than ever. So it's really important for you to listen if you're planning to own a credit card, just for you to get the scope and to realize that it's it's no joke. It's no joke. So the thing about a credit card is that we're able to just basically loan. It's like able to spend when you're able to get rewards and stuff. So when you spend, you're able to get, depends on the card, you can get rewards. And but basically, what happens is that how it works is that you're basically using maybe like the bank's money. It's not your money that they're using, you're using, taking a loan. So every time you make a purchase, it's basically a loan, and you have to pay back that loan. If you don't pay back the loan at the right time, boom, interest. But the thing about this interest is that it's very high interest. So it's like you do not want to be in that thing. Miss that payment. You do not want to miss that payment. But if you actually pay off and all those stuff, what happens is that the rewards can be very fulfilling. You can get cash back. You can get points towards travel and all those other stuff. So the benefits is great, but the risk is high. And so if you're not a person that is able to accurately pay back debt, a credit card is not for you. You need to be able to pay. So if you're in debt now, the best thing I could actually explain to you is that practicing practice yourself on getting yourself out of debt before you get your credit card. Practice how to get yourself out of debt. Because when you get yourself out of debt, you actually learn about what it takes to do that, so that when you get the credit card and you have a higher stakes, you'll be like, okay, yeah, you don't want to be in that situation. But what happens is that, one of the things why I get this card, this situation that I'm in, the next thing is that I actually appreciate the requirements of getting the card. I appreciate the high requirements of what it takes to get the card, because what happened is that so what happened was that I was using the last work to see if I could basically open multiple credit cards, because I was using the benefits of the job to actually to get as much as I can before I get out. And what happened was that for one of the cards, I did not meet the requirements due to various reasons, and those were valid reasons. I'm glad that I wasn't approved for it. What would happen is that the situation that I'm in now, I would be in where. So at the record of this episode, I really don't even know the outcome, how the outcome gonna be, but but it would be very worse if I was approved for the other card. Very. So what happened was that, so when I got the card, the first thing was I was approved for, I had to make an annual payment of like $4,000, and that was basically taken from the card immediately as I basically made as I activated it. But that wasn't the issue. The issue was that I activated on the last day. The payment for that month was due. So all of a sudden, boom! I got this pay. This payment was taken from the card and it was due. So I had to hurry up and figure out how to make the credit card payment so that I could clear the bill for that month. Successfully, that was done. The next month now, so I said, okay, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna make some plans and stuff. Boom! I used the card, and then what I realized was that the pay that I was getting from the work was not what I was expecting. Oh, I knew it was low, but I did not realize it was that low. I was like, ah. So what I realized is that so so it's not the problem that it was low. It's fact that the expectations from the last work, I had that expectation coming to this new work, even though I got the information about the different pay and stuff like that. So when I actually see it in real life and see it was that low, I'm like, oh my god, bro, it was it was a different ball game. So seeing that now, boom, and then making that payment, that was, I guess, it out of the way. I'd be like, okay, I had to make a smarter move going forward. But I was always saying that the card can be used effectively. So this next situation now is the forest. I don't know what the community that is. So if you would have known, I would have upgraded to a new phone. So I made the plan to make the purchase, and the plan was I'm going to use the card to make a part of the purchase, and then another part from another card. So it will be a debit card and then use the credit card. Because what happens is that when I get the pay, I'll be able to use the rest of the money from the debit card, put it on there, make the payment, and then use my pay to pay back the debt. And then boom, when I do that now, then I'll be able to reap the rewards from the credit card. And it was a foolproof plan, bro. Foolproof. But something unexpected happened. I went to work and lost my credit card. And I went to work and lost my wallet with all the cards and everything in it, and had to go and replace all of my things, and end up having to spend extra money that I did not expect to spend. Bruh. Oh my god. So now I'm in this weird situation where I think I can make it out. I'll be able to make it out, but it's a plan that I never, some situation that I never expect, and it's cool, and it's great for me. It's great that it actually happened at this point, so that I learn the stakes of what holding a credit card is, so that when I get through this situation, I'm going to make smarter moves. So it's just one of those things where talk about owning a credit card is you can never it's ideally what you want when you own a credit card. You need to have at least 6 months income to be able to effectively use it correctly, or at least have 3 times the amount the credit limit has in the same bank account that you open the card. So if you basically have it at this bank, have that amount times three in the bank to use it effectively, where you basically be like, yo, I don't have to worry about the thing. But not only that, the negative. And while I say that, the next thing is the thing about a credit card is that you can make the bill payment anytime. So even though you may have like say 3 times the amount, you can make a purchase, then pay it off, then make another purchase, and then what happens that in the last purchase, then that situation comes. So the next important thing is that to before you make while it's important to have 3 times the amount, the credit limit and the amount, never make the purchase be below. So when your bank account is at a certain level, it'll ideally would not be recommended to actually use the credit card and then because it would be too risky. Too risky. Yeah, so that would be the next lesson that I actually got away from this. It's too risky to actually make certain move because you'll be put yourself in unnecessary stress and be out there to do some mental gymnastics. You have to do extra work that you may not need to do just to make it back and all those stuff. Because if you're going to debt, you have to put in extra work and doing put your body through extra just to pay back and all those stuff. So it's yeah. So yeah, owning a credit card can be very rewarding, but yo, it's very risky, very risky. So that's basically it for this episode. Thank you for listening. I look forward for the next episode. Mm.
Well, this is the end of the episode. Thanks for watching and look forward for the next episode. To support this podcast, go to anchor.fm/cssb/support or become a sponsor for this episode. If you have a product that you want to have more exposure, DM me on the Instagram page, Reframing Mindset Podcast, or on Twitter at ReframingP. Either way would help. Thank you regardless for listening, and here's a preview for the next episode.